This, it's a tough one, but it works so well. I start this session off with a stiff leg deadlift from a deficit. A stiff leg deadlift is different than a Romanian deadlift. These target the hamstrings much more. I like to keep my toes slightly out. This can bias the outer or lateral portion of the hamstrings a lot more. Here's what I'm focused on when I'm lowering the weight. I keep my knees almost locked. They slightly drift back as I push my hips back. You may feel a stretch in the hamstrings here. Imagine that you're bowing over to a crowd, keeping the bar over the middle of your feet throughout the entire lift. This exercise primarily trains the hip extension function of the hamstrings. So lightly tap the ground and pull to a full lockout. After this, I target the hamstrings performing their other primary function, knee flexion. The seated hamstring curl. Push yourself back into the seat and curl as fast as you can, resisting for about 1 to 2 seconds. This is something that I see people missing out on this movement all the time. Make your curls powerful. Every one of the sets is only 6 to 8 repetitions, coming within 1 rep of failure or 2 failure. The last 2 sets turn into a drop set. I lower the weight by 25% and perform as many repetitions as I possibly can. Next, the quads. I've got a little setup here. Elevate the heel of your front foot 2 to 3 inches. The back foot is only for balance with just 10% of your weight in it. If you don't have a specialized block like me for your front foot, you can use a plate. Just make sure your weight is balanced. To get the right width for my staggered stance, I kneel and make sure that my knee is in line with the middle of my front foot. A quadricep biased split squat. I like to imagine that the dumbbells are on a track, fixed, in place, moving straight up and down over the middle of my foot. So 3 things are in line with the middle of my front foot at the bottom, both dumbbells and my back knee. Now, this is a quadricep biased split squat, so push your front knee forward over your front foot. As you do this, keep your knee pointed in the same direction that your toes are, standing up powerfully out of the bottom to a full lockout. Now, after I complete the first leg, I take a rest. It's usually about 45 seconds to maybe 1.5 minutes. This is because I don't want the exhaustion from the first leg to hold back the performance I'm able to give on the second one. Now, I perform my favorite quad superset of all time. Start with an incredibly heavy 5 to 6 reps on leg extension to failure. This will exhaust the quads in their shortened position. Then, immediately get off and start performing the body weight sissy squat, the perfect exercise to pair with a leg extension. This is one of the only exercises that trains the rectus femoris in its lengthened position. My hips are locked as I lower my knees down to the floor. I imagine it as a leg extension into the ground. Once I reach failure, I pull my hips back while still remaining on the balls of my feet. It allows me to reach failure a 3rd time. This is incredibly fatiguing, so I only do 2 or 3 sets, no more. Finally, I superset calves with abs. Watch closely. I rest at the bottom for 3 full seconds, then press as far as I can to the very top. Now, a lot of people think calves are a stubborn muscle group to grow, and that's not true. Usually, they're just not trained properly. The fullest range of motion possible with the stretch held at the bottom is vital. It can actually cause muscle growth when it's held for 3 to 5 seconds. It's known as stretch-mediated hypertrophy. So anyways, once I finish my set, I walk on over to the cables and immediately start performing the cable face-away crunch. This is such a good variation. Here's what I'm thinking about. I imagine that my arms and my torso are connected together as one unit, not moving separately from one another. My hips and lower back are locked in place while my upper back and ribcage flare upward. I drive my face and elbows forward, then down to the ground. It's like my body is unrolling from the bottom of the crunch back to the top. Once you get the feel of this movement, it's unlike any other. Give it everything. Train alongside me in my training app, where I provide all of my exact weekly workouts in immense detail. You can follow this plan exactly as it's written, or you can do what some people do and just use it as a reference to help construct their own workouts. However you choose to use it, my workouts and coaching are going to be there for you. I take care of the planning. All you have to do is show up. All of us on the app put in the work every week, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. So if you'd like to join us, sign up through the website myliftfitness.com. It'll walk you through the process of setting up your profile, and then you'll be able to log in through the app.